Hello everybody, my name is Walter, and today I want to show you a very simple contraption that can be used to detect when a lever is spammed a lot. My thanks to Frisk DT for giving me the idea for this build. So this is the contraption I'm talking about, and the input is this lever, or actually, to be more precise, the observer behind it, and the output is the torch here. And, well, if I flick the lever just slowly or trigger the observer, normally, slowly, nothing much happens, but if I start to flicker it fast, can see at some point I start to get a flickering output. And that's what this thing here does. It detects when the lever here is flickered very often in a very short amount of time. So somewhat similar to a burnout torch. How long I need to flicker is determined by how many items I put in here. And well, that already brings me to two possible use cases. The first is obviously some kind of hidden input. In that case, you may want to put more items in there, so the chance of someone accidentally finding out about this feature is very small. And the other is, well, maybe you have a friend who enjoys stress testing your builds by flicking every lever. And in that case, maybe putting some TNT around this torch here may work as a deterrent. And, well, that's the use case. So now with that out of the way, let's talk about the size. So as you can see, the build is 3 blocks long. It's 3 blocks wide. If you're working with inverted output pulses, you don't need a torch, so then it would only be 2 blocks wide. And the total height is also 3 blocks, as you can see here. It's also pretty cheap, so just a couple blocks, then a redstone torch, a repeater, a comparator, an observer, a dropper and a hopper, and finally the lever as an input. And that's already all you're gonna need, so let's show you how to build this circuit here. Start with your observer, which will be the input of the circuit. Now, for this tutorial, I will place the lever right in the front of the observer. Obviously, you can run just a line of redstone wire or similar to the front of the observer instead. Go behind the observer, and diagonally down, we need a dropper facing backwards with a hopper to the face. Place a repeater on top of the dropper on 4 ticks, take an output from the observer. And then either on the left or on the right, depending on where you want the output to be, place a block diagonally down like so. Now take an output with a comparator from the dropper and run this into a full block. And now if you want a positive pulse as an output, just place a torch somewhere on this block, and that's the output. Now last part is actually filling in some items into the dropper. The more items you put in there, the longer you need to flicker around and spam this before you actually see something happening. Now, if you want to use this with a circuit that's not spam-proof, you would have to add another spam-proofing circuit behind this or after this output here. And if you also want to use this pulse which is coming through here for some kind of circuit, don't just place redstone wire on top of this one here. You will have to use another repeater there. The reason is if you place redstone wire here, this would interact with the dropper and the circuit here would break. But that's just a little side note there. And that's basically how you can build this little spam trigger here for a lever. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and well, see ya!